A Toruk Makto is a Navy individual who successfully manages to ride the Great Lantoperix. There had only been 5 Toruk Maktos prior to Jake Sully, as they are spoken of with great respect and honor, and using their prestige as a position, Jake unified the Navy against the RDA and led them to victory in the assault on the Tree of Souls. Toruk Makto translates as the rider of the last shadow. In around 830 BC, Entu was the first Navy to ride the Great Lantoperix. He did so during a volcanic event that threatened the Tree of Souls. His life and adventures are played out in the theater production Toruk: The First Flight. The 5th Toruk Makto was Neytiri's great-great-grandfather, who had used the great respect given to such riders to unite the Navy clans of 5 generations ago in what was described as a time of great sorrow. In 2152, Able Rider managed to ride the Great Lantoperix during his travels through Changelos. He needed to reach the Well of Souls before Commando Falco did, and the Great Lantoperix offered itself to him for the journey. Able to reach the tree in time, and the tree released some sort of energy wave that destroyed the aircraft, with Falco's Dragon assault ship crashing out in the sky and the remaining humans in disarray. The second grove was saved. It is worth noting that he did not actually bond his mount, merely climbing upon its back in order to ride it. It is not counted among the 6 Toruk Makto in the Navy culture. Now let's look at events leading up to the 6th Toruk Makto. The Na'vi were in a time of great sorrow, the Omitkaya clan in particular, due to the RDA's actions on Pandora. Jack Sully, an avatar driver who became initiated into the Omitkaya clan, was thought to be a traitor after he revealed his initial mission, which involved gathering information about the Na'vi for the RDA. The Omitkaya clan took both him and Dr. Grace Augustine captive and prepared to defend their home tree against the RDA. However, the clan soon realized they stood no chance against the weaponry of the RDA fleet and ran into the woods. Mo'at, the Tashik of the clan, released Jake and Grace, begging them to help the clan. Jake came across his mate Neytiri following the destruction of Homitri, where he found her mourning the death of her father, Olektian Etukan. Then he was forced back into his human body and he was put under arrest for treason along with Grace and Norm Spellman. However, Tudy Chan and other RDA members saved them. They made their way to the hangar and boarded Charlie Sampson, but Colonel Quaritch was alerted to their escape attempt and unsuccessfully tried to stop them by shooting at the Sampson. While the rebels made their escape, Dr. Angustin was mortally wounded by Quadrit's gunfire. In order to regain his honor in the eyes of Neytiri and the rest of the Omitkaya and save Grace's life, Jake re-entered his avatar body and came across his mountain's Banshee. They flew until they found the Great Lantoperix, assuming that it never looks up because it has no natural predators to attack it from above. Jake flew his Banshee above it, then jumped onto the back of the Great Lantoperix and bonded with it, became the 6th Toruk Makto. Jake steered his new mount to the Omitkaya at the Tree of Souls. The Omitkaya, especially Neytiri, were amazed by his accomplishment and forgave him completely, for this meant not only that he truly had sided with the Na'vi, but that he was destined to lead them to victory over the souls of the Great Sorrow, like the 5 others before him. This and the Na'vi reverence for Toruk Makto in general is most likely because the temerity required to successfully set out to become a Toruk Makto can only be accomplished by one with a strong heart and a deep love for the Na'vi, to the point of being willing to do absolutely anything for them. Neytiri had noted Jake's strong heart months earlier when they first met, with it being one of the reasons why she bothered to rescue him in the first place, such as a person with a strong and loving heart would be the ideal leader for the people, especially in such a time of hardship. Jake asked Moat for help to save Grace, following which the Omitkaya tried to perform a consciousness transfer on her. She got as close as actually seeing Ewa, but ultimately the transfer failed as her wounds were too great. Filled with anger against the RDA, Jake gave a speech to the Omitkaya which resulted in the gathering of other Na'vi clans to fight off the RDA. Commanded the clans of the Na'vi in the defense of the Tree of Souls, flanked his Great Lantoperix with the Irkan Maktos of the Na'vi clans in an aerial strike against the RDA fleet. Successfully defeating the RDA in the assault of the Tree of Souls, all humans with the exception of few were banished from Pandora and were sent back to their dying planet. Jake released his Toruk as Toruk Makto was no longer needed. Sutsei, mortally wounded in the battle, passed on his leadership to Jake since he proved to be a worthy successor. Jake returned to the Tree of Souls where the Omaticaya successfully performed the consciousness transfer on him.